Peace, wholeness, love, and light. I'm Nudiamonds here with a energy update. With this whole three-eye atlas is about to shift everything. Everything is shifting around us, and nothing will be the same after this. Okay, you guys. So I just really wanted to deep dive on this. Shout out to the Soul Tribe. I love you guys so much. I remember telling you guys that I was going to do a breakdown and do a presentation for this. And this rising, I went to watch the live and I accidentally deleted it. Okay. YouTube saying it didn't upload. It was some weird thing. So I deleted the other version of it. So I thought then when I went back, it was gone. So I was like, well, I'll take everything as a sign. So this just really means that we got to go back and do it the right way. Okay. Things are coming back so things can be done the right way. And I just want to say a huge shout out to everybody who was in that live with me. But we about to have some fun. We about to break it down. And I'm going to show you guys the keynotes that I wanted to show you guys in the first place when it came to this energy and how everything is in divine alignment, how everything is shifting. And yeah, so this whole three-eye atlas energy is shifting, taking over the planet. Okay, 30 years ago, it wasn't cool. It wasn't cool to be talking about aliens, but now it is a hot topic. It's trending on all social medias. It's all over the news. And I know recently I have been feeling this extra energy, extra just fired up energy. And I wasn't exactly sure why. I'm like, okay, maybe it's my hormones, maybe it's, but when, I did the live that I recently did, it dawned on me that this three-eye atlas energy was in Mars. So with this energy being in Mars, it really amps up everything. And we're about to deep dive into how the trajectory of this energy is literally shifting and manipulating everything or amplifying what is already taking place. Okay. So this is the Schumann resonance for the past 2 days. As you guys can see, it is spiked, it is charged, it is white, it is amplified. And I think it has a lot to do with this three-eye atlas energy that is entering in our atmosphere. It is just amping everything up, firing everything up. And yeah, look at that. This is most definitely high frequency, high vibes. So let's deep dive. So basically, three-eye atlas is closest to Mars, right? It is in Mars right now. And Mars is all about masculine energy, fire energy, war energy, and just this ramped up sense of initiation, this blood, this focus, this mentality. Okay, it's a lot of things that are attributed to Mars. And Mars is also in Scorpio, which is ruled by Mars. Okay, Mars' ancient ruler is Scorpio along with Aries. Okay, so not only is this super ramped up energy here and it's in Mars, it is just amplifying everything at this exact moment. And a whole nother thing with this three-eye atlas energy is not only is it in Scorpio, it's Lilith in Scorpio as well. Okay, so I'm going to break all of that down in a second, but I just really wanted to show you guys where this is at so you guys could see exactly what I'm talking about, okay? So 3i Atlas is right next to Mars right now, and it is going to pass through the solar system. It's going to be the closest to Earth around October 28th through November 3rd, okay? I like to say Halloween. I like to say Halloween because we know Halloween is a time where the veil is lifted, okay? So take into account all of these energies, right? It could have came in at any time, right? But it's coming in on a scorpionic energy. It's coming in this hidden realm, this merging, this ancestral, occult, hidden knowledge, hidden power, abundant energy, right? In this 9 year, as we are closing out old cycles and tapping into enlightenment, what a time, you know? And And it will be entering in Jupiter's atmosphere in November. So not only will it be affecting all of the planets in Earth, it is affecting the whole solar system. So if it is as above, so below, that means that it's going to be affecting us as well. Okay. So just prepare yourself. I'm going to do a nice, thorough breakdown of this energy, and we're about to get ready to deep dive in. So I hope y'all got y'all snacks. I hope y'all are ready. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And shout out to the tribe. We about to go in deep. So here we have the chart. As you can see, we have Mars, Lilith, and Mercury all in Scorpio, okay? This is where 3i Atlas energy is at, okay? So it's amplifying all of this scorpionic energy at this moment. Also, with that Lilith energy, Lilith is a very strong primordial water. You know, it's attributed to the black moon. So when I think of the black moon, I think of the black Madonna. I think of the black woman. I think of the melanated woman and the primordial waters, the matriarch rising in her hidden power and tapping into that, whether that be this Kali Ma essence or just really standing on your square, operating from your balance when it comes to being in this Libra season and balancing out that divine masculine and that divine feminine energy at this time. As you know, Lilith is attributed to a lot of different things. It's attributed to Medusa energy. It's also attributed to, you know, in some tales that they said Lilith was Adam's first wife and she was an alpha and, you know, rebelled in certain folklores or stories or religious texts. This is what they said. But it's a sense of having your own identity and not being ashamed, not hiding, not going beneath the shadows to be who you truly are, as they love to demonize, you know, divine feminine energy. Oh, she's a bitch. Oh, she's, you know, etc., etc. But really, it's just this divine feminine energy. You know, when we come into this boss essence, we have this masculine energy to us. We are amplified. We are able to be in our divine feminine and relax and be soft, but also turn up, right? With that Kundalini energy here, as I see this Lilith in Scorpio and Mars in Scorpio, that balance of that masculine energy and that feminine energy in the hidden realms, right? In that shadow, in that scorpionic nature. So just really getting in tune with that energy and letting it rise, right? Not letting them steal your mojo, not letting them harvest your energy as our energy is being amplified at this time. Also, it's just the sense of being in tune with who you are and balancing that energy. As it's going to be a very highly charged up time with these energies alone. And then you add another interstellar object here. It's like, come on now, we in those times. So just stay ready so you don't got to get ready. And also going back to it, transcending into the ethers, it will be in Jupiter, closest to Jupiter in November. And one thing that I noticed is about this water energy, right? This water energy is very prominent as Jupiter is in Cancer and Mars, Lilith, Mercury are all in Scorpio. So, and then, like I said, this energy will be the closest in Scorpio season. So, one of the main things that I was getting with this energy is just really staying balanced with their emotions, right? Like I said, this water energy, water is attributed to the womb, to the earth, to, people like to say, as above, so below. And, the water's above, the water's below. As this ancient, alien energy, it is something that comes in waves, right? It's something that comes in frequencies as this, this isn't nothing new, right? They've been talking about alien technology for a while. And this is where people got to get in control of their emotions and really find balance with that, as there's going to be a lot of information pouring in at this time, right? And I say that because, like I said, this energy is in Scorpio. It's coming in Scorpio out of all the times for this interstellar object to come in. Is coming in Scorpio at the peak of Scorpio season, and it's going to be here with us as we enter in the underworld. And that's all about getting in tune with yourself, all about getting in tune with your shadow, and just staying balanced in that energy at this time. Okay. So there's a lot of different things when I think of the water, right? Not drowning in water. Water can be healing. Water can be nurturing. Water is attributed to the mother. Water is attributed to frequency. Water is attributed to memory and information. As we are in this Aquarian energy, and that's attributed to the water bearer. Tech. Shout out to Soul Tribe, as when I was doing the live, they were like, well, is this, attributed to Atlantis? And it is a sense of this Atlantean energy here, with this technology, with the water, with the crystals, right? With this energy being prominent right now as we are in this, you know, getting in the peak of it, right? And also, it's a lot of underwater bases, right? When it comes to these hidden mysteries, right? Atlantis, the Bermuda Triangle, Antarctica, right? And all of these things are deep embedded within the water. Another thing that I had got was this Antarctica energy, right? This goes back to the whole Hitler, Operation Hydrant, Operation Deep Freeze, right? When it goes back to that Antarctica and these portals, this ancient alien technology being prominent there, and stargates, stargates are also attributed to water, portals attributed to water, the yoni, the black box, all of these things are attributed to a portal being in water, the womb, right? The cell, the nuclei, the child in embryonic state, the earth in, within the universe. It's all of these different energies that are cultivated in water. And it's a lot of information. It's a lot of different things that are transferring within these waters, right? They said the poles are shifting, right? Everything is shifting. And if the waters are going back, this means that this Arctic water is starting to pour in. This ancient information that has been frozen in Antarctica is now unthawing, right? And like I said, that water holds memory, right? And if the water is frozen in Antarctica from these ancient times, I mean that this water, these ice, holds and stores ancient information. And with this melting, Antarctica melting, and it's being revitalized, that means that this water is pouring in and is vitalizing us, is igniting us. And it's this whole hydraulic state that the water goes through, right? Water is in liquid form. Then when it heats up, it turns into steam. Then it builds up that condensation, and then it starts to rain. And this essentially is what has happened to us, right? This frozen water, this frozen information is melting from Antarctica, going into the sea. As the waters heat up, right? Everything is heating up due to the solar cycles, the solar winds, the solar flares, and the core of the earth heating up. That makes the water, rise. That makes the steam rise, which forms clouds. And then it forms condensation. And then it begins to rain, right? So it begins to rain, and that information rains on us. And we get informed. We start to remember, as our skin is the biggest organ on our bodies, and it's very absorbent. And we're like a human antenna. So we are remembering these waves, these information, through a sense of telepathy, through a sense of ancient codes being activated at this time. So it's just a lot of things that are happening. And I really want everyone just to kind of intake and be observant of their energy at this moment. As like I said, it's going to be a lot of sexual energy rising. So, with that Atlas energy being in Mars, there's a lot of Mars and Scorpio at that. It's going to be a lot of sexual energy. It's going to be a lot of fired up energy. It's going to be a lot of masculine energy, a lot of fires, right? We're going to deep dive into the slides and the videos, but it is all happening now in this age of revolution with these water trines, with these air trines. It's just a lot. So, like I said, sit back, enjoy the ride, and we're going to keep on deep diving into these slides. Now, this is the day I was on the bay waters, and it just really made me realize what is going on here. As you can see, I can see both of the bridges. I can see the Bay Bridge with the moon over it, and I look over to my right and I can see the Golden Gate with the sun over it. And this is what centered me. This is what grounded me. As I said, we in these waters, we're in these deep waters, and you have to be focused and centered and anchor yourself in your tools, anchor yourself in things that work for you at this time. And another thing that was very prominent was, like I said, this ship energy, right? They're trying to say it's a comet, but it doesn't act like a comet. It doesn't have a tail like a comet. It doesn't move like a comet, right? So a lot of people are saying it's a ship. And like I said, with the boats, being on that boat, I was on the ship. And this is where you get in tune with your relationship with yourself, your relationship with the divine. This will bring up a lot of question about the divine with these alien technologies, right? With this ancient ancestor energy that is present, that is returning here. And with this whole ship energy, like I said, I've been thinking about this whole xenon energy, xenon. And it just made me think of this movie that was on Disney. It was called Xenon, the Girl of the 21st Century. And I just kept thinking of this song called Zoom, 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 Make My Heart Go Boom, Boom, My Supernova Girl, by the group on there called Protozoa. So yeah, we're so first off, what is xenon, right? What is this xenon energy? And xenon is a noble gas, right? And what are the noble gases? Noble gases are the 7 chemical elements that constitute group 18 of the periodic table: helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radion, and argon. Okay, historically referred to as a inherent or rare gas. They are mostly colorless, odorless, non-flammable, and have low chemical reactivity. Okay, so these are noble gases, right? And with that noble gas, I love that whole breakdown of that noble gas energy as, noble, right? What is noble? Noble is something that is regal. Noble is something that is sovereign. Noble is something that is, high ranked, high class. It's royalty, right? And gas can be formless. Gas, you can see the fumes, but normally it's something that you can't really see with the naked eye. And some of them have smells, but these are noble gases, so you can't really see them. You can just feel them, right? And what is a sense of noble gas? The xenon energy, right? Is something that is highly charged. It is something that is high in frequency. So, what is this xenon energy, right? Well, like I said, going back to the noble gases, xenon is something that is used to charge lights, okay? So, it is a colorless, odorless noble gas discovered in 1898 by Willem Ramsay and Morris Travers, known as foreign or strange substance, which derives from its name. It has an atomic number of 54 and a denser than air and emits a distinct blue, green, or violet glow when it is excited by an electric current. Okay, so it is used to light up lights. Okay, it is used as a form of highly intensity discharge lamps, IUD lamps, headlights in cars, flash photography. It's also used in certain anesthetics. And it's also used to charge up spaceships. This is a sense of a fuel, right? And with that bluish, violet hue, going back to the three-eye atlas energy, this is something that is, I think, is running on the fuel of the xenon energy, right? Also getting into Also getting into the atomic structure, right, is that 54, right, which I think is amazing because that's attributed to 9. All right, we got the 13, 131, right, with the 13 and the 31. Shout out to the Soul Tribe, as people were saying, 13 and 7 and 31 were popping up. So that is that act of that divine feminine essence being activated here with this xenon energy, okay? It is that XE. When I think of XE, I think of, X, that feminine energy going within X chromosome. And it is this crystalline structure as well. So this goes deep within the DNA. It penetrates your cells. It's that sense of that gamma ray frequency that is here to help change and transform your cellular structure to be upgraded, right? Everybody talking about their superpowers. They want their superpowers. This is it. This is what they riding on. They coming in hot on this beautiful xenon energy. Okay. And I just think it's just, what a coincidence that all of these things are lining up. And shout out to B-Dale, as he was just talking about the noble gases on his last breakdown. He was talking about krypton energy, and krypton is attributed to that green. Is attributed to that green energy that gamma ray energy that enters in the cells and penetrates the DNA and transforms it. Also, with this whole, green gamma ray, radiation coming in, it's a sense of that heart chakra, right? That krypton energy, as like I said, the superpowers, getting the superpowers from Superman, that green krypton energy. Again, shout out to Soul Tribe, who was talking about um the emerald tablets, and they are green, and it's this form of this crystalline structure that is activating these light codes within all of us due to this gamma ray, due to this krypton, due to this radiation, due to this green energy that is coming in and amplifying us and charging us up and shifting and shaping us to be greater. It's also attributed to that heart chakra energy, as these two, when these two energies come together. And when you add this xenon and krypton energy together, this only happens with supernova energy, supernova explosions. When these two noble gases come together, it's a sense of this explosion, and that makes me think of when the masculine and the feminine come together. It's this explosion. It's these cells, right? That sex, that coming together, that kundalini rising within us, and us having to find balance with that energy. As some people say, that kundalini can be very dangerous if you don't know how to control it, okay? And that's how you create superstars, the star seeds, right? With this supernova energy. But a supernova is when a star explodes, it dies, right? And I love this whole essence because everything ties back into this three-eye atlas being in Scorpio energy, as Scorpio is that underworld energy, and the supernova energy dying and exploding. There is a sense of this beautiful death and rebirth process that happens when stars go supernova. And depending on the energy, depending on the mass, depending on the size of the explosion of the supernova, is two ways that it can go. It can either turn into a black hole where it's pulling in light, or it can go into a white dwarf star where it is just a large mass and emitting frequencies, emitting light. And I did some research on that, and I have found out that Sirius was a white dwarf star, which is the mother of our sun. And I just found all of this very fascinating. And, Sirius is where our souls come from as well, as it emits that beautiful blue hue, that orb, that little solid form. And I thought that was, I was very fascinated about it because, like I said, if you tapped in spiritually, you see the orbs, you see the spirits, you see the lights, you see certain spirits. And like I said, that whole Halloween energy, that whole Day of the Dead, Day of the Saints marching in is this whole, souls, return of the ancestor energy, just coming in and igniting us, as it's the sense of remembrance that is happening with this whole information that is pouring in at this time. So I just love this whole aspect of this remembering the ancestors' way, and stars being born, and death, as this is feminine energy. This is going within, that death and that rebirth energy is to explore different realms of ourselves in ascension. Now, I love how we can just tie all of this together with this whole supernova energy, crystalline energy, going into our structures, this gamma ray frequencies emitting and charging us up to purge, to release these negative frequencies, because it goes back into the ions and the structure of the ion and the protons and the neutrons and the electrons as positively charged ions are protons. And it's really this negative energy, these negative effects. That's the purging of the negative ways and negative energy and feeling angry and having headaches, aka ascension symptoms that a lot of us may feel. On the flip side, if you have this sense of this positively charged energy or negatively charged energy, it's the sense of this balancing, right? Those negative ions charge us up and give us a sense, this sense of calmness, right? That's like going to the beach and you feel that sense of calmness. That's the negative ions that are being produced from the frequencies in the water that help calm you down, okay? Which is that masculine energy that grounds us back into the earth. AKA, you know, feeling really blissful, feeling really calm when you go grounding, hugging trees, that sense of that oxytocin releasing. You are grounding that energy into the earth and releasing it, which is why, you know, Mother Earth, Daughter Earth, Mother Universe, everyone likes to attribute this energy to feminine energy, right? Which is really, you know, it can be used as chaos energy if not knowing how to control it, okay? So I just love tying all of this energy back in, right? Whether it be, you know, chaos emeralds, chaos energy, sonic energy, alio energy, alien energy, just different life forms and making it all come together and being one. Now, I did also want to get into some videos and just kind of watch as a lot of things are shifting and turning with this energy that is here now. So let's watch some videos and let's get your perspective. Let's open up your perspective and see what your thoughts on some of this 3i Atlas world changing events energy. Okay, now this is my brother Khalid Amun Ra. If you guys don't know who he is, I suggest that you check him out on YouTube, on Instagram. He is always talking about the sun blood and how the sun is activating us on multiple frequencies. Now, in this video, what he is pointing to with his fingers are these rainbow aura portals that are around the sun and around the earth, meaning that there are multiple objects in the atmosphere. I have videos of these as well. I'll be posting the rainbows. I'll be showing y'all this stuff all the time. But here we are in real time. You can actually see him pointing out these halos that are around the sun, meaning that there is multiple objects that are in the atmosphere right now. So yeah, what a time to be alive. We're able to witness this in real time. And let's deep dive into some more clips. Now again, with the multiple objects that are in the skies, here is a video that I recorded personally of the sun, where you can see that it is two orbs in the sky, two orb lens flares in the picture. It's these two dots at the bottom of the screen that you can see. One is green, one is blue. Sometimes you catch these blue color frequencies that are in the sun orbit, in the sun flares, which lets me know that it is multiple objects in the sky, as it will only be one little dot, right? Why are there multiple dots if it's only quote unquote one object in the sky, which is very interesting. So this goes back to the Hopi prophecy, the red star, the blue star Kachina, the green sun, the white sun, the black sun. We've been talking about this for a while now, y'all. Drop them gems in the chat because it's going up.
And at that country over there, blue and white, 3,500 miles that way. The Paul's Parliament building burning to the ground because Gen Z was fed up with the Nepo kids flexing, moving, grooving, vibing, slide. They said, okay, watch this. I'm about to stand on business, son. Took them 15 days to overthrow their government completely. The minister's family literally had to be lifted out on some random white acts of dangerous shit, margin for error, you guessed it, death type of vibe, because Gen Z was pulling up, popping out, like, oh yeah, what the fuck is up, man? We need that action now. Things went left when the former prime minister caught wind of some type of revolution that was coming his way because Gen Z was talking on Discord and different social media sites. He's like, okay, watch this. We blocking all social media. That wasn't the right move. When social media was blocked, basically Gen Z took it into their own hands. They're like, okay, block this. And he started moving Mephistophelian. I'm talking about pulling up to politicians' cribs, anybody that was a part of the government, burning that shit to the ground. Now, obviously, this was a violent reaction, and they fought back, and there's been 50 deaths so far. And they don't want you to know what's happening is it worked. They put aside their differences. There's no left versus right. They're like, hold on, the 1% is taking all the money. Why are we not getting none? These people are mid-revolution, and they are stopping their protests to let tour buses through, so they're like, oh yeah, it's not us. You gotta understand. This day motherfucking fault. Go ahead. Y'all have a nice day. Come back whenever y'all ready, but we need to deal with these fucking dickheads real quick. This is how it's executed. Once he and his wife almost died, he's like, all right, fine. I'll step down. What do y'all want? So yeah, we're gonna need complete control, and you gotta get the fuck up out of there. You guys are no longer in power. There's this random white tourist that has now become an independent journalist that the country just loves. And he's just in the mix. And the people over there love this man. You remember my last video, they pull up on the finance minister. They're like, oh yeah, we gonna need that. Come here, son. Take this walk through the river. Strip down, we beating your ass. Then the Gen Z social media-led group had an entire election through Discord where they picked their next interim prime minister. They selected their first woman ever, not somebody from Gen Z. They're like, oh no, we trust her. This is who's going to be in position. The army general is like, okay, we accept that. 15 days and the 1% are no longer in control of Nepal, and now changes are actually being made, and Gen Z has already hit the streets to then go clean up everything that was going on. As soon as they gained control, they immediately started cleaning up their streets and started cleaning up their community because they're like, this needed to happen or change was never going to happen. And you guys are going to keep all that motherfucking money. I wish America could take some notes. And now Nepal is headed in the right direction with the right people in control and people that actually feel like there's equality coming their way. America, I'm just saying, it's not left versus right. Stop pointing the finger. It's these motherfuckers that is at the 1% owning these companies that don't let the trickle-down effect happen, and then you be sitting in your grocery store, bill to bill, mad as fuck, and want to blame somebody else that has actually nothing to do with the policies and why you in your position. So let's get on the same page. Let's point the finger in the right direction at the 1% and at that country over there, blue and white, 3,500 miles that way. The Paul's
Political instability and a series of violent incidents have been escalating across China, accompanied by strange and frightening celestial phenomena happening across the country. Let's first look at a series of clips. This video was uploaded by a netizen on September 18th, showing an unidentified flying object in the Putuo district of Shanghai. The object can be seen floating in the night sky, its movements soft and almost motionless. It also spins in place, which rules out the possibility of it being a drone. The person filming zooms in and out, showing that the footage is real and not altered in post-production. One netizen wondered if it could be a torn plastic bag, but others replied, "Please use your brain. Would a torn plastic bag move like that without wind? If it were wind, could it remain in the same spot?" This next video shows swallows and other flying birds swarming in Sichuan, resembling a scene from an Alfred Hitchcock movie. The person filming said this was something they had never seen before. In this video from Hohhot, Inner Mongolia, the sky is filled with crows. Netizens said they've never seen so many crows flying continuously from day to night. Next, we see crabs in Yantai, Shandong, rushing inland from the beach in droves, like an army marching. In Guangzhou, snakes that are usually hidden can be seen hanging in the trees, making one wonder if they've entered a strange forest. In Changzhou, Hebei, thousands of fish were packed tightly in a river, flipping and splashing desperately as if they were suffocating or trying to escape the water. In Hunan, a swarm of locusts overwhelmed the land, devouring all the vegetation. This video from Manzhouli, Inner Mongolia, shows an unknown type of flying insect covering people in a storm. In mid-September, a netizen reported seeing a strange phenomena in many areas of Henan province. Small white insects flying everywhere. These insects, like snowflakes, float through the air, light yet relentless, making it impossible to avoid them. Some netizens exclaimed, "Those aren't bugs, it's like snow falling from the sky." These tiny white insects, no more than 1 or 2 millimeters long, have white bodies, delicate wings, and resemble small moths. They feed on plant branches and leaves, often gathering in large swarms. Their breeding capacity is remarkable, and they're known as whiteflies. According to netizens in Henan, from the end of August until now, the whitefly infestation has become a disaster, disrupting not just the fields and villages, but even invading people's doorsteps. The whiteflies swarm and hit people's faces, and just opening your mouth is enough to let them in. A few days ago, a netizen from Pingdingshan in Henan posted a video asking, "What's going on here? Does anybody know? Why are there so many bugs in Pingdingshan? The sky is full of these little white insects flying around. They weren't here yesterday, but overnight, they've all appeared. It looks like snow." It's not just the whitefly causing trouble. Another, even more unsettling swarm of insects has appeared in Henan. However, no reports from mainland media have been seen. Only videos from netizens on platforms like Douyin revealed this bizarre phenomenon. In the videos, large grub-like insects can be seen covering trees, climbing from the ground to the treetops. They feed on the leaves. Netizens said there were so many bugs that it looked like they came straight from hell. A netizen posted a video asking, "Is this an infestation? This is the view from my hometown's mountain, and I can't even imagine it. The leaves on the trees have been eaten away, and the infestation has spread to the crops." Another netizen shared a video from Zhumadian, Henan, saying that it felt like the area was cursed. The mountain was covered in these insects, and the trees were completely bare. The ground was covered with dead branches and leaves. The forest was left barren. The netizen asked, "Where are the experts? Why aren't they coming out to explain this?" In Tianjin, an unusual frog phenomenon occurred recently. The relevant authorities in the Chinese Communist Party said they are investigating the source of the frogs, but no results have been given yet. On the night of September 10th, in Beichen District, Tianjin, there were countless frogs all over the road. Citizens who filmed the scene said it was eerie. The appearance of these frog swarms made several citizens worried, with some wondering if it was related to earthquake activity. One netizen said, "Those with tryptophobia wouldn't be able to handle it. Walking on the road or driving would scare you. They should close the roads and clear them." Other netizens from different areas of Tianjin also reported seeing many frogs around their residential neighborhoods. With the recent rain, they frequently see frogs, but they've never seen them in such dense swarms before. On September 11th, the Beichen District Urban Management Committee responded, saying they had received reports from citizens and arranged for the sanitation department to clean up the dead frogs on the roads. However, the frog swarms continue to appear at night. The staff said that during the day, some of the frogs may die from exposure to the sun, and they can only clean up that part, but at night they keep appearing in large numbers. They mentioned that they've never encountered anything like frogs covering the streets before, and they don't know where they come from. Not long ago in Chongqing, more than 100 rare crystal orchids were discovered, sparking public concern and unease. The crystal orchid is an extremely rare parasitic plant, known in Chinese folklore as the flower of the underworld, ghost grass, or death flower. The English-speaking world may know it as ghost pipe or Indian pipe. According to...
Wait a minute. That popped up too? Wait a minute, let's rewind that again. What did I tell you, my people? Every place that they're at is going to become unlivable. So cannibalism is going to take place. I got to rewind that to ghost plant, ghost flower. Wow.
Chongqing, more than 100 rare crystal orchids were discovered, sparking public concern and unease. The crystal orchid is an extremely rare parasitic plant, known in Chinese folklore as the flower of the underworld, ghost grass, or death flower.
Wow.
The English-speaking world may know it as ghost pipe or Indian pipe. According to reports from Chinese media, on September 23rd, over 150 ghost pipes were found in Aikou Town, Chongqing. 2 days later, on September 25th, 6 crystal clear ghost pipes were discovered in Huluo Town, Wulong District. On July 29th, 7 ghost pipes were found in the dense forest of Ailao Mountain in Yunnan. A local villager from Aikou Town recalled, "They looked like little lanterns suddenly sprouting from the ground, but the older generation always said they bring bad luck if touched. In the past, if people came across crystal orchids, they would often take another route." What's even more unsettling is that on May 28, 2025, deep in the forests of Shunhuang Nature Reserve in Shaoyang, thousands of crystal orchids appeared at an altitude of 1,500 meters. This unique and rare plant stands around 10 centimeters tall and is often crystal clear, translucent, or jade white. Hence its name, crystal orchid. The plant grows in dark environments and relies on decaying organic matter to survive. It is distributed in places like Yunnan, Guangxi, Gansu, Guizhou, and Tibet. Its appearance often signals the presence of decaying biological remains nearby. And because it only surfaces for about 40 days each year, hiding underground for the remainder of the year, it is considered an ominous symbol from the underworld. The crystal orchid is extremely fragile. Just a slight touch will cause it to wither rapidly, and its white petals turn black and rot, almost as if the flower is telling the story of the impermanence of life and the approach of death. According to legend, this flower, along with the corpse flower, only appears at the end of a dynasty, during times of war, or before a major disaster. There are rumors that it's the last warning before the god of death arrives. On August 25th, at 7:06 a.m., a Hong Kong citizen, or before a major disaster. There are rumors that it's the last warning before the god of death arrives.
Woo!
On August 25th, at 7:06 a.m., a Hong Kong citizen captured a shocking scene. Under a violet blue sky, black clouds rolled, and scarlet rain poured down from the clouds, falling over Tsim Sha Tsui. It looked as though the sky was crying blood, or as if heaven itself was telling the suffering of Hong Kong. When photos of the blood rain were exposed online, they quickly went viral, sparking a flood of discussions. Some netizens marveled at its stunning beauty, while others feared its ominous and dangerous nature. Some saw it as a sign of resistance, with one person stating, "This isn't rain, it's clearly blood." Another netizen said, "The blood rain is Hong Kong's bloody history, a wound that has yet to heal." The Hong Kong Observatory later provided an official explanation, claiming that this was a type of banner cloud, which reflects red and orange light during sunset. The sunlight passing through the thick atmosphere scatters shortwave blue light, allowing long-wave red light to penetrate and illuminate the clouds, creating the effect of red rain. However, many netizens were not convinced by the observatory's explanation. They felt that although the explanation seemed precise, it was ultimately unconvincing. They questioned how such a bizarre phenomenon could be explained away as an optical trick. They all raised similar doubts. If it was just a banner cloud, why had they never seen such a vivid and realistic blood color before? Why did it appear specifically in Hong Kong at this particular moment and in such a striking red form? Some even pointed out that while the authorities can control the law and control speech, they cannot control the heavens. On the internet, many Hong Kong residents are now filled with sorrow for the fate of their city. One netizen wrote, "Hong Kong is no longer Hong Kong. Freedom is dead. The rule of law is gone, and what remains is obedience." Another lamented, "From the anti-extradition movement to the blood rain, every step in Hong Kong has been marked with blood, whether it's human blood or the blood from the sky." Some expressed that the blood rain wasn't a coincidence, but rather the heavens crying for Hong Kong's downfall, an accusation of the loss of freedom in the city. On the night of September 29th, a golden triangular-shaped cloud appeared in the sky over Changping, Beijing. Many netizens in Beijing reported seeing it. On the same day, a netizen in Shijiazhuang also filmed this unusual cloud. Netizens expressed shock and asked whether this was a good omen or a bad one. Experts suggested that it was a rocket cloud caused by a rocket falling, but some netizens disagreed, saying that the trajectory didn't match and accused the experts of merely explaining every unknown event with reasons they themselves didn't believe. A netizen uploaded a video of a strange cloud that appeared in Beijing sky a month earlier and asked experts to explain what the cloud was called. On the evening of September 13th, strong winds suddenly swept through Beijing, bringing heavy rain and causing tree branches to fall all over the ground. Then hail began to fall, with some areas seeing so much hail that it piled up like snow. Some netizens believed this was the heavens showing anger. A Beijing resident speaking under a pseudonym told reporters all the vehicles were damaged by the hail. Whether it was the front or rear windshields, they were all smashed, and the hoods were dented all over like bubble wrap. Some older people told me that they hadn't seen weather like this in 40 years. They also said that by September it should already be cool, but it's still so hot in Beijing this year. Normally, September should be a time for gentle autumn winds and light rain. I didn't expect Beijing to still be this hot, and for such huge hail to fall. I've never seen anything like this in my lifetime. Another Beijing resident said, in Shijingshan and Fengtai, the hail was very large, like the size of ping pong balls or eggs, and the ground was covered in white. He added, there's an ancient saying about extreme injustice. When such places exist, the sky will suddenly bring heavy snow, even in June. It's the same now. In places like Liaoning's Masanjia and Beijing's Jiujing in Fengtai, the methods used against dissidents are extremely cruel and violent, worse than the mafia. Clouds in the sky don't always mean it will rain, but wherever it rains, there are always clouds. It's the same on the ground. In places of evil, where there's no justice, disasters and man-made tragedies are inevitable. On September 15th, a netizen from Beijing uploaded a video showing a strange cloud in the sky. The meteorological department explained that it was a type of rough surface cloud, which has two core features. The cloud's base is covered with granular, lumpy clumps, and its wavy structure is extremely twisted, forming large and irregular folds. Such clouds often form in the presence of fronts or other strong weather conditions, and they are a rare example of wave-like clouds developing in extreme, chaotic, and disordered ways. Netizens commented, no matter how it's explained, experts admit that this is extremely rare and difficult to predict, so it couldn't possibly be based on scientific results obtained from experts measuring the clouds at the time. They continued, meteorological experts usually make conclusions based on localized observations, then search for theoretical support, but since it's hard to observe the whole picture from a distance, their conclusions are often unconvincing, and that's why they rely on a lot of obscure technical jargon that's hard to dispute. Another netizen said, in Chinese legend, this type of cloud is called the cloud of demons, symbolizing the presence of evil spirits. The explanation is simple and clear. It means that something major and sinister is about to happen. We've noticed that in September, when these terrifying phenomena appeared in China, two shocking events occurred almost simultaneously. One was on September 10th, when American conservative politician Charlie Kirk was fatally shot during a university lecture. The other was around the same time, when Chinese actress Yu Menlong, who has 20 million followers, was reported to have died under abnormal circumstances. Due to the sensitive nature of the incident and unconfirmed details, we have not reported on it yet. Given how bizarre and horrifying the event is, the death of this actress has caused a global uproar. October 1st was the 76th anniversary of the Chinese Communist Party's rise to power. On that day, a halo appeared in the sky over Beijing, another celestial phenomenon seen as a sign of the fall of dynasties. Many netizens in Beijing posted videos on social media showing a huge solar halo in the sky that morning, with a colorful ring surrounding the sun. Before the National Day celebrations, Beijing had already begun to witness frequent appearances of solar halos and partial solar eclipses, phenomena that are extremely rare. On September 22nd, Beijing experienced a rare astronomical spectacle of a partial solar eclipse. On September 20th, a solar halo appeared in Beijing. On September 17th, Beijing saw both a halo and a parhelion at the same time, with two suns appearing in the sky. In traditional Chinese belief, the concept of heaven and humanity in unity means that these unusual celestial events often correspond to changes in the human world. In ancient China, a solar halo was often seen as a sign of rebellion or turmoil within a dynasty. A parhelion, or a mock sun, also signals political instability. The ancient Chinese believed that the sun symbolized the ruler, and celestial phenomena related to the sun were closely connected with the ruling authority. The appearance of multiple suns was interpreted as a sign of impending division across the land. All of these signs seem to point to one outcome. The downfall of the Chinese Communist Party is imminent. The only uncertainty, and what we should pay attention to, is how many people will face misfortune during this process, and how many will survive the calamity.
And that's kind of like what we've been talking about this whole time. We've been talking about the weather anomalies. We've been talking about the insects. I've been talking about the insects, the bugs, the spiders, the ants, these new, the dragonflies, the bees. We've been talking about all of these different things, the flowers, the ferns, the birds, the animals, right? We've been talking about everything, and it's all coming to a head. Everything that is done in the dark will be revealed in the light. Everything is coming to the light right now. And not only is the earth feeling these frequency changes, we are feeling these frequency changes, right? So it's things that are burning. I've been talking about the fires. I've been talking about the weather. I've been talking about the floods, the earthquakes, right? I'm not the only one. It's multiple people that's been talking about this, okay? But right now we're watching it all happen. And when I talk about the rapture, well, the rapture is here. These are the apocalypse. This is the end times. This is the revealing. This is when things change. This is when you're supposed to be getting everything together and stay ready so you don't got to get ready, okay? We got oil refineries burning down. We got rainbows popping up everywhere. We got multiple suns in the sky. We got earthquakes popping off. We got the sun flares popping off. And you have to be very attentive as to what you're consuming, okay? AI, man, this new AI is wild. I can't even tell the difference. So this is where you have to be very mindful about what you're consuming, what you're watching, what you're allowing in your energy. As this new Sora is a Sora, it's a soaring and it's taking off, right? As this is where that predictive programming comes true, okay? I put Kingdom Hearts on here because the main character in Kingdom Hearts, his name is Sora, and I thought that was pretty trippy. And then when you think about Kingdom Hearts, it's about the heartless, but it's about who is fighting for justice, right? And the spiritual warriors are constantly fighting for justice during these times. We are in those times, you guys, where we have to stay vigilant. We have to be mindful of what we're paying attention to and protecting our crowns as we have the keys to the kingdom, right? Also, with all of this Japanese anime, Japan was a big thing. They just had an earthquake. Philippines just had an earthquake. So we got to be mindful of that and make sure that we're paying attention to these cartoons. Like I said, Sonic's the alien, but he's talking about the gems. There's gems being dropped in these cartoons. There's gem being dropped in these movies, right? As the 7 chaos emeralds are related to the 7 chakras, right? Shout out to Soul Tribe, as we was talking about Japan. We were talking about Pokemon. We were talking about catching them all, catching them pocket monsters. But the pocket monsters is really your shadow, things that you haven't tamed within yourself, and using these elements within yourself to tap into a higher sense of knowledge and know who you truly are. Get into who you truly are at this time. Okay? So, yeah. And that is my video, you guys. Please let me know what you think. Don't forget to drop some likes, drop some flames in the comment, drop some gems in the comment, and just really give me your perspective on what you think is really going on and how do you feel about these energy updates, these energy upgrades, and this energy being here. And as we watch everything shift, okay, we have a whole shutdown going on, right? NASA shut down, the government shut down. So what a time to be alive, and how ironic, what a coincidence that they shut down soon as this energy was getting close to Earth. and everything else, everyone else is rebelling against the government. Everyone else is, standing up for what they believe in. This is a time of justice, and justice will be served in a divine fashion, in a divine manner. Okay. So yes, you guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification if you would like to donate. My Cash App is Nudiamonds101. My website is nudiamonds.net. Okay, so if you guys feel called to tap in, please do so. Also, let's support our other people who are putting in the work. Okay, shout out to Top Cats as he is hosting an event. It's going to be held November 11th in Houston, Texas. It's going to be a foundational Indigenous Day. So you guys, please make sure that you guys are tuned in and tapped into that event. Also, make sure you guys are supporting B-Dale with his book drop. Okay, that drops 10/14 on his birthday. He pours into the community. Both of these brothers pour into the community with all that they got, and they are just righteous rulers, right? And there should be no such thing as a poor righteous teacher in this day and age. We should be pouring into those who pour into us. Also, make sure you guys are supporting Black Magic, Red Pillar, Blue Pillar, Seven Bowman, Sharif Bey, Sister Myra, Miss Blue, Tassili, right? Everyone who is standing on business in this community, make sure that you are supporting them. I know Brother Rich, he has a AI workshop that is happening November 1st and November 2nd. So make sure that you guys are tapped into that at this time, and go support the collective as they pour into us effortlessly. And we need to be doing the same for them. Make sure that you are pouring into those who pour into you and operating from integrity as they do for us. Okay, so I love you guys so much. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.